All right. First show with Jackie.
Yeah.
It even says Gunkclimber and Jackie.
I know, I
Talk.
need like an interesting name.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna probably call it Eric and Jackie Talks Climbing, maybe. I don't know.
Perfect.
I think I actually have a little window set up for us. So I guess we'll talk about climbing vehicles, and we'll talk about some news. There is some actually new news this week that I just wrote down that I didn't have last week. Did you hear about the Gunks just bought a cliff?
Wait, I think I did off of the AAC, right? Is that what came through the email?
I don't know. It may have been like the Access Fund helped them, and I think it was the Gunks Coalition. And I think all they did was buy the cliff below Millbrook, if I'm not mistaken. So now they'll have access, I guess, underneath. I could be totally wrong about this because there's not much news of it yet, because every time I try to research it, it just kind of throws me on like just a generic page. But like supposedly they just bought something, and it's supposed to be 5.5s through 5.13s.
Ooh, that's probably good. The Gunks needs a little bit of an expansion. The crowd is definitely.
Yeah, I think if they could get a parking lot at the bottom somewhere, that'll be a plus, because it's like an hour hike to get to Millbrook, and you know that's not an easy hike for most people.
I'd say like the parking's an issue at the Gunks in general.
Yeah, I really have an issue now since I got a new climbing vehicle. I got the camper.
Like,
I have nowhere to park up there now.
A little like picture here. See the size of the mammoth.
Yeah, actually, I have a picture of it. Let's see if I can pop it up.
I do. I want to see this thing.
Here we go. Here's the outside of it.
Nice.
There it is.
Looks good.
RV.
Look at that thing.
Switch it to a picture inside. What are the pictures inside? I don't really have much. There's just Zion and the kids, Marla. Got the refrigerator, which is great. Having the fridge is quite sweet.
So does it how does it do with heat?
The heat's, it's propane, and it doesn't use much propane, so the heat's great. You just set it on a thermostat like you do inside your house, and it's very quiet. So if you're trying to sleep, it's you barely even notice that the heat's turning on. The only thing you can't really do usually is run a generator, like in campgrounds and stuff like that. But usually you just plug in. So that's what we did in Seneca. We just plugged in so we could use. You see the microwave right here.
Does Yoko have plug-in? I didn't think.
Well, technically they do. It was funny because like we parked next to, they had an opening for a camper, so we parked, and everyone was real friendly and talking. But they had the electric, which was great because it's like a weird 3-plug that plugs right into the electric box, and that's how we got the electric. And then usually you can get water. So if you're getting a shower, you pretty much need to plug in because you'll just drain your whole tank in one shower. So we weren't planning on showering. We were only gone for like a day or two anyway. But if you're going to shower, you need to plug in. The guy's like, yeah, there's only one hose that works out of all of this. So everyone was kind of tapped into this one hose. And he's like, I could tap you in if you want. I'm like, we don't really need it. We're only here for like a day or two. But yeah, because we showed up Friday. It was super late, so we just parked anywhere. We're just like, it doesn't matter. We're just gonna jump in, jump up on the bed. The kids have the top bunk above the driver's seat, and they slept up there. Ayala and Zion, and then we put Nitsa. The bed in the back is a little small, so Marla isn't the happiest person. Because like I was up against the wall, and I actually just insulated the wall, but it was freezing cold. So I kept getting closer and closer and closer to Marla. And we're used to a California king size bed, which is huge. And it is very small. I would say Marla's like, it's a queen. And I'm like, I think it's a twin. It's small. And then we have Nitsa in between us that she loves to, kick us in the, while we try to sleep and stuff. So it worked out pretty good for me. Marla wasn't the happiest, but it worked. She was, you know, like, I didn't get great sleep, but I slept. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we cooked. So Marla brought a lasagna, and we probably should have tested the oven before we actually, you know, there was no backup plan for the lasagna. But
Right.
luckily I got this stove. It was a little tricky to get working because it has like a weird pilot. And I got it working, and we got to, because it takes like an hour, hour and a half just to do a lasagna in an oven anyway. So we had it on Saturday night, we did that. Friday night, I think we just got food on the way down. And then Sunday, we had leftover lasagna in like a Walmart parking lot.
Nice.
Great from the, you know, the five.
That's like the great part about Walmart. Listen, I'm not a Walmart person, but it's the great part about Walmart.
It wasn't even like Walmart. It was like we just pulled over, and it was a parking lot. It happened to be Walmart.
Right.
We're like, all right, here's a good spot to park and cook up our food for the night. And yeah, the drive was rough. It was kind of better coming back because, you know, there's mountain roads. I kind of got to do some of the mountain roads in the daylight. Going there sucked because, you know, like usually takes five and a half hours. Took a little bit longer, and they had construction on 81, so it was like almost 6.5, 7 hours. It was
it's painful.
rough. Yeah, so we didn't get down there until about 11:30, maybe midnight. But
I'm assuming like the kids can keep busy in the back of the camper when you guys are traveling to.
Yeah, it's nice for Ayala because she's now 8, so she can actually just sit in one of the seats. And she kind of, you know, watches over her sister and brother and can kind of give them toys and stuff. But they're in car seats and they're reverse spacing, so it's kind of a pain. But actually, you can see one of their car seats right here. So they're reverse spacing in the seat there with the. They have the lap belt connected to their car seats.
Right. So. That's awesome. Well, I mean, speaking of Ayala, is that little tank led something this past weekend?
Yeah.
Let's talk about an 8-year-old leading with Seneca here.
Yeah, she's been 8 for a couple months now, and yeah, she did her first trad lead. Yeah, she was psyched. She wanted to do it. We were just gonna set up a small climb for Zion, and Yella's like, "Can I lead something?" I'm like, "Well, this is a real easy climb, and I can kind of see, and I can also climb up there. So if there's like a problem, I could just go up and rescue her." I actually just soloed it to clean it anyway. And I actually there was a tree that she anchored into, and I actually just wrapped off the tree just to kind of be safe.
Right.
Because going up wasn't a problem. Coming down, I was just wearing sneakers too, of course.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to wrap down.
Of course you are. So how does she deal with the anchors?
Well, there was just a tree, so she just wrapped a sling around it, and she knows how to oppose the beaners, and then she just wrapped off of the tree. And I wasn't too worried because it's not just the anchor; you have all the other gear too.
Sure.
And
to back her up.
Yeah. She actually has. She recorded it on my GoPro camera, so hopefully we got some footage of that. So might actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing that. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah. So I would say it was a pretty successful trip. I was a little worried of the camper breaking down since like this is our first trip ever in the camper, and we didn't spend a lot on it. And I checked, you know, the oil and stuff like that, and I kind of had some kind of understanding how everything worked. The only thing that was like a little bit nerve-wracking before we left is the black tank. The what holds it was kind of rusted out, so I backed it up. I put a couple cables. Actually, the black tank's not that big of a deal. It doesn't smell or anything. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you used it a lot, maybe it would smell, but we didn't really use it at all. We had one emergency with Zion. Marlo was in, because, you know, like you probably don't even know this, but Seneca has like new bathrooms. They have a whole new bathrooms with showers and stuff like that in the middle, which is kind of nice. They actually ripped out, they had, what was it, some kind of cabin in the middle. They ripped that whole cabin out and just put this really nice bathroom. Well, that's nice for a campground, let's put it that way. Not, you know, super nice. But for a
That's awesome.
campground, it's definitely, for what they used to have, it's definitely a lot
Is that
better.
great for Yoakum?
I don't even know if they have, remember they had 2 bathrooms? They had the one that was on the actual cabin, and then they had a
Right.
little small one in the background. I don't even know if the small one's back there. I think they only have that one now for that one campground. I think they have
Right.
another campground too. But this one's just nice because it's right there where the cliff is. So we could have walked to the cliff. That was our backup plan. Like if I couldn't find parking for the camper. But Seneca is great. Like the Gunks is going to be a problem, but Seneca is great because they actually have camper parking. They have, like, you know, the long extended parking spots. They only have a couple, but there was no one there that had large vehicles. So it was just like me and another camper one day, and then another day there was a trailer, like a truck and a trailer. But the parking lot was pretty full of just normal cars. But
Right.
people would just park on the grass anyway. Like no one cares in Seneca. It's not like the Gunks where they're limited on their parking lots. Hopefully they do add a nice parking lot for that new area that they got.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, they definitely have, like, the Gunks has grown much bigger than it's capable of handling parking wise, and I think like camping wise. I mean, camping's always kind of been a problem, but
Well,
on top of
yeah.
that, it's even harder to, I mean, if the AAC is sold out, to find anything relatively
Well,
nearby.
they do have that free, they still have a free campground, but it's like way down the road now. It's up towards, like, yeah, what area that is, Ellensville or something like that, where they do the where like Bruce used to do his hang gliding, like that area. They do have a campground somewhere out there. I know people have actually stayed there. It's free, so.
Yeah, I know. I think in general.
I miss the old campground. Remember that?
Oh my gosh,
That was a lot of fun.
Campground. That was intense. You know, I think
Nice.
like that there was that big rock when you pulled in. This, and if you hit it, you're like smack something off the bottom of your car.
Yeah.
I remember that because I did it a few times in the element.
Yeah, the parking was always the worst because people would just park wherever. I think that's the reason why they
Anyway,
got rid of that campground. I mean, there
it
was
was a free for all.
ditches. You get your car stuck every once in a while in the ditch, and oh yeah.
If you didn't get there early enough, you were totally screwed.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
worried
know?
about. I think I could probably park the camper up there, but I have to get there like super early just to find a
You would have to get
spot.
there super early. You know, one of my other friends who has a van, he used to, up until like the last time he did it, he used to just park on the very bottom part of the preserve parking lot. And nobody was ever back there, and he never had a problem. But this time a ranger came and knocked on the window. But you know,
Yeah, that would be that would be the nice thing, is if we could just go up and park the camper for the night like we used to do, but ever since
doesn't the
COVID.
AAC have anything like that? I thought the AAC let you camp in their parking lot.
Well, then that'd be awesome for me. Other than that hike would suck.
I would genuinely look into that, because I think if they run out of like, I think they allow, I don't know, but I thought they allowed people to sleep in their cars in that parking lot.
Yeah, but do you have to pay then if you're there? I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, because
I'll
I
look
just never.
into it. It's a hike though from that parking lot all the way up to the cliff, because there is a trail that leads up to the you know, the lower parking lot to the upper parking lot, and then all the way up the Stairmaster. But
Yeah,
that would be a hike, especially with like kids and stuff like that. Yeah, because
I think Gunks is going to be a challenge for your vehicle, but like I guess you need it. I was going to say at the same time, do you need it? But I would assume if you're going to do family long.
Yeah, I almost wish we had like just a crappy minivan we could just keep up there, like keep it at like Gail's house or, you know, Jimmy's house or something, and just leave a car there that we could just like switch or something. That'd be perfect, because we can just take that car and park. But yeah, the camper, I don't even know if I can get into that parking lot without getting stuck.
Yeah, you would have to be able to get into the preserve parking lot somehow and have a decent space to park.
I don't even know if it's because I think it's almost too big to, because I could almost drop them off and like, you know, get
You do
Marla to bring
realize
the
that they
stuff.
make smaller vehicles that would have fit your family.
I know, I know. This one was just cheap enough that it was like good for what we wanted. But we still have
Right.
to work out the Gunks situation. Yeah, if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Because I will definitely,
How to park an
look into it.
oversized vehicle in a small place.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I guess you saw Emily Harrington set the speed record for
Ah, it's
spring
crazy. It's
Golden Gate.
awesome.
Yeah, I was in under
Yeah.
24 hours. And there's another guy that's just set a speed record on El Cat or the Mirror Wall. Tom Herbert. Just don't have any details on it. I don't know how fast he did it, but he's just set a speed record on that wall.
Yeah, I
I
think
gotta get to
I
El
think
Cap.
it's kind of cool to see women stepping it up in the climbing world, you know?
Yeah, I think there was just someone that climbed the another 515B or something like that.
A female?
Yeah, of course, it'd be better if I knew who that was. I don't know if it's in the AP for climbing. I think most of this stuff is just, you know, yeah, there's nothing here about that. But I know someone just climbed the 515B, but I don't think it's the first. I think she was maybe the second or third. Maybe the second
It's
girl
still
to do it.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Just
setting
to climb that hard.
standards for women,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah. Seth just climbed so 13B or 13C. He just climbed climb on the Madness wall. He
Mhm.
was working it for a while because I think the easiest climb on the Madness wall is like a 13B. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's any 12s or anything like that. But yeah, he was working that for a while, like maybe a month or something like that. But he got it, which is pretty
That's
impressive.
awesome.
That's a long wall. Have you ever seen the Madness Cave up
Mm-mm.
at
No.
Red River Gorge? Yeah, it's huge. It's about
What's the height of it?
the whole climb. It's pretty much a full rope. Like I think you need a 70-meter rope to get back down to the ground.
Okay.
And it's basically overhanging roof and then overhanging at the end.
That's
So it's just
awesome.
like a big pump, you know, fest to do the
Yeah,
whole
the whole way.
climb, which is pretty damn impressive. I just saw him not too long ago at the Red. I met up with him and Matt, and I did, yeah, out of the blue, I was just like, it's a 12B in my book, but I think they downgraded it to a 12A. But I basically didn't bring any gear up. They have like 3 permadraws at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
So I climbed the, you know, I just said when I was like, I'm gonna see how hard this is. There was like a crowd of people, and there's only one easier climb than this one, I think it is. There was like an 11C or 11D that we were hoping to get on, but the whole place is packed. So I'm like, I'll just do this. It was open, and yeah, I got up and the crux is right off the bottom where the permadraws are. So I'm like, that's pretty good. So I came back down, and then Seth went back up, and he brought gear, and then he basically roped the whole thing. He didn't get it
Right.
clean, but he did a really good job. Got it to the top, and then he was going to do it again, but he was just taking a break. So I'm like, well, I'll just try it. And I red pointed it from the ground all the way up to the top. It's a good climb to do because there's 2 good rest areas. So once you get finished the beginning with the permadraws, you're up on a ledge. So you can pretty much just sit on the ledge and kind of rest. And then as you go up, there's a big hole in the rock, and you kind of wedge yourself in this little hole. And I got a good rest off of that. And then at the top, I was burning at the top. I'm just like, it's one of those things where you can just feel your hands opening on every hold you grab. And you're just like, gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving. And yeah, I got to the top, and I hit the one anchor, and I clipped it, and I'm like, okay, that's good. So that's pretty impressive for me, because like I haven't done any climbing. I haven't been to a gym since February or January or something.
Wow.
It's been, what's that, 9 months?
Yeah, it's been 9 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
COVID.
how's your gym?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone check Jackie out at Reach. And I
Huh?
am on
Yeah.
Gunkclimber, Instagram. What else do I have? Instagram, Patreon, and YouTube, which you're probably watching this on anyway. So you found my
Yeah,
channel
I have
already.
Instagram, but you gotta find me.
All right.
Just kidding.
Well, we will call it there. All right.